Upbeat, thoughtful music begins and fades into the background. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that has sparked endless curiosity and debate. Is the Illuminati mentioned in the Bible? It's a huge question, and you see it discussed all over the internet. But what are the actual facts? Let's separate the theories from the text and see what we can find by looking directly at biblical references. First, let's get our facts straight. The historical Illuminati was a real group. It was founded on May 1, 1776 in Bavaria, which is modern-day Germany. Its founder was a professor named Adam Weishaupt. He started this secret society with the goal of promoting reason, secularism, and education, and to oppose superstition and the abuse of state power. They were essentially a product of the Enlightenment. However, this group was very short-lived. It was infiltrated, exposed, and officially banned by the Bavarian government by 1785, less than a decade after it started. So, the original historical Illuminati existed for only a very brief period. Now, here's the most important point to start with. The Bible, as we know it, was completed long before 1776. The last book of the New Testament, the Book of Revelation, is generally believed to have been written around the end of the 1st century, somewhere around 95 AD. This means there's a gap of nearly 1,800 years between the writing of the final parts of the Bible and the founding of the historical Bavarian Illuminati. So, if we're being literal, the answer is no. The specific name Illuminati does not appear anywhere in the Bible, simply because the group didn't exist when the Bible was being written and compiled. So, if the name isn't there, why does this connection persist? Well, the conversation usually shifts from the historical group to the idea of the Illuminati. This concept of a secret, powerful cabal working behind the scenes to control world events. People who believe there's a biblical connection aren't looking for the word Illuminati. Instead, they are looking for prophecies or descriptions of groups that behave like the modern conspiracy theory version of the Illuminati. They look for themes of deception, secret knowledge, and a hidden power structure working against God. Let's explore some of the scriptures that are often brought into this discussion. A very common one is from 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verses 13 to 15. The Apostle Paul writes, "For such people are false apostles, deceitful workers, masquerading as apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. It is not surprising, then, if his servants also masquerade as servants of righteousness. Their end will be what their actions deserve." You can see why this passage gets pulled in. The term Illuminati itself means the enlightened ones. The idea of being enlightened or possessing special light is central. Here Paul warns about entities that pretend to be angels of light, but are actually deceitful. Proponents of the theory draw a direct parallel. They see the Illuminati as these very servants of darkness, masquerading as bearers of light and wisdom to deceive the world. It's a powerful metaphor, but it's important to remember Paul is talking about false teachers within the early Christian community, not a specific secret society thousands of years in the future. Another key theme in Illuminati conspiracies is the idea of a one-world government and a single powerful leader, often referred to as the Antichrist. The Book of Revelation is the primary source for these ideas. In Revelation chapter 13, it describes a beast rising from the sea, who is given power and his throne and great authority. This beast deceives the inhabitants of the earth and forces everyone to worship it. It establishes an economic system where no one can buy or sell without a specific mark. This imagery of a global power that controls politics, religion, and the economy resonates deeply with what many people fear about a group like the Illuminati. They see this prophecy not as a symbolic vision of imperial power like the Roman Empire at the time it was written, but as a literal roadmap for a future global takeover orchestrated by a secret elite. So, for them, the Illuminati isn't mentioned by name, but it is the fulfillment of the entity described in Revelation 13, the hidden hand that will eventually bring the beast to power. Let's also talk about the theme of secret knowledge, or gnosis. This was a big deal in the early centuries of Christianity. Gnosticism was a collection of religious ideas that taught that the material world is flawed and that salvation comes from acquiring secret, divine knowledge. The Bible, particularly in the writings of Paul and John, pushes back against this idea. For example, in Colossians 2:8, Paul warns, "See to it that no one takes you captive through hollow and deceptive philosophy, which depends on human tradition and the elemental spiritual forces of this world, rather than on Christ." This warning against hollow and deceptive philosophy and secret knowledge is seen by some as a direct biblical precedent for warning against groups like the Illuminati, which are believed to traffic in hidden truths and esoteric wisdom reserved only for an elite few. The biblical message is that truth and salvation are openly available to everyone through faith, not hidden in secret societies. The Bible consistently promotes light and transparency. Jesus says in John 3:20-21 that evil loves darkness to hide its deeds, but those who live by the truth come into the light. This is a core spiritual principle that stands in direct opposition to the very nature of a secret society. So, let's bring it all together. Does the Bible mention the Illuminati? No, not the specific historical group from Bavaria. That's a historical impossibility. Do the theories about the modern conspiratorial Illuminati, a secret group seeking world domination, line up with certain biblical prophecies and warnings? Yes, you can see why people make those connections. The themes of deception, false light, a one-world government, and the rise of an antichrist figure in the Bible provide a framework that seems to fit perfectly with modern-day conspiracy theories about a hidden elite. However, it's crucial to approach this with discernment. The Bible's warnings are often broad and symbolic, meant to apply to many situations throughout history where power corrupts and deception is used to lead people astray. Whether you're talking about corrupt leaders in ancient Rome, false teachers in the early church, or modern-day institutions, these biblical principles about light, truth, and deception remain relevant. Ultimately, the Bible's focus is not on trying to unmask specific secret societies. Its central message is about one's personal relationship with God, living a life of faith and love, and being aware of the spiritual battle between good and evil, truth and deception, in all its forms. The warnings are there to keep believers spiritually vigilant and grounded in truth, rather than getting carried away by speculation about hidden groups. The best defense against any form of deception, according to the Bible, is to hold fast to what is true and live openly in the light. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. It's a fascinating subject, and it's always best to go directly to the source material. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful and want to explore more topics like this, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.